What's up guys, welcome back. Last video we did product research strategies. I showed you 3 different strategies that you can use to find profitable products on Amazon. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out right now. Today we're going to be talking about product validation. So this is kind of goes hand in hand with doing product research. If you find the product, doing product research, you also want to validate that product. So I have a few key things that I look at to validate whether this is a product that I want to start sourcing or not. Let's jump into the desktop and I can show you some of the points that I look at specifically. Okay, so obviously if you're sourcing a product, you want it to sell. And so one of the best indicators for figuring out whether your product is going to sell or not is looking at other sellers and the demand in that particular niche. So I generally like to see about 7 out of 10 sellers on the first page selling 300 units or more per month. So just to give you an example, I've got 2 products pulled up here, and the first one is Blackhead Remover Vacuum Kit. You see, we'll run a viral launch analysis on it real quick. Okay, we got this loaded up. As you can see, let's count how many sellers have more than 300 units per month. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 sellers on the first page that are selling more than 300 units per month. That is a pretty good indicator that there is demand for this product. Going back, we want to look at sales history and trends. So even if something is selling great now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be selling great forever. One of the worst things that you can do is get into a product that's just a fad. And this happens a lot of times to sellers who are using these product research tools, even Viral Launch or Jungle Scout. You find a niche that just looks amazing. You source your product, you launch it, and sales just fall flat. And that's what a trend is, like the fidget spinners, for example. So I like to go into a listing and take a look at the historical BSR to see if they've had steady sales for a good amount of time, good period of time. So let's just pop into, we want to find one that has a good amount of reviews so we can see that they've been around. Alright, so we got the listing open. Scroll down to, just need the plugin to load real quick. Cool, so finally I've got this up and loaded. This is the Keepa plugin that lets you look at historical price as well as historical sales rank. And based on the historical sales rank of this product, we can see that it has been selling consistently throughout the year without any seasonal spikes or anything like that. This is the last 3 months, so let's take a look at the last 268 days. Looks like they launched in late December and quickly took off. Like, this product went from 0 to 60 really quick. So generally this could be a good product as far as like looking at the sales history, because there's not a lot of large fluctuations. I typically would like to look at a listing that has been around for like at least a year or more, so you can see a full cycle. But you get the gist of it. Looking at the historical BSR is important, as well as price. You can see that they dropped their price compared to earlier in April, but it's held pretty steady, I guess. Okay, let's look at the next point, which is price. Generally, you should try to sell something on Amazon that is over $20. I put $22 to $50 here, just as like a range to narrow down your choices. And a good rule of thumb is to your selling price should be about 4 to 5 times your landed cost. So, for example, if you source a product, it costs you $3.50, and to ship it into Amazon costs you $1.50 per unit. That means your landed cost is $5. So you should sell this product for no less than $20. And the reason I say that is because with Amazon fees, the increased competition and increasing PPC costs, your margins are just going to get crushed if you sell anything that is less than that. And I do sell products that are less than $20, and it's tough. It's tough to keep them. It's tough to keep them alive and generate the profit that you want to, because with all of the advertising costs, it just makes it more difficult. Like, for example, going forward for me, I'm only going to be focusing on more expensive products that I can bundle, things that I can sell for like $25 plus. It will just make life easier. So that's something that's a good rule of thumb you should follow. Going back to this example, as we can see, going back to the blackhead remover kit, as we can see, most of this stuff is in that range: $28, $26.99, $19.99, $34.99, $21.99, $39.99, $45.99. So it's pretty clear this is a product that is in the price range that we're looking for. Competition. So generally competition, we're looking at reviews, and I like to see 5 or more listings with 100 reviews or less. So I mean, just by looking here, we can count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this there are people making a ton of money right now selling these blackhead remover vacuum suction kits. And one thing that I have to say that's important to mention is that just because reviews are low doesn't always mean that it's not competitive, because you also have to look at the listings. Right up here on the top left, it says 1 out of 16 or 469 results. There's only 469 results for this keyword, blackhead remover vacuum kit. However, you want to make sure that you look at the most popular keyword and look at the results for that. I've seen products that there's like low reviews, but when you look at the actual number of listings, it's like over 10,000 listings, over 20,000 listings, and that's generally not a good product to dive into unless you have some competitive advantage, or you think you can do something better than your competitors. And the last point is unique selling proposition. In other words, do you have the ability to differentiate or add value that is different from other sellers? If you find a product and the first page is just full of things that look like duplicates of each other, then you really got to dig deep and figure out why is somebody going to buy from you? What is going to be different about your product that is going to make somebody click on your listing and buy your product over the listings that are already there? There's too many people on Amazon that are selling Me Too products. I'd say the reason that Amazon is so saturated is because there are people just buying the same shit off Alibaba, sending it to Amazon, and just thinking that they're going to get rich overnight. And that's really not how it works. If you want to be in this for the long run, you really have to find a way to be different. And I know everybody says this, but it's because it's true. Whether that's through bundling or making the product better through some change or variation, different color, size, shape, you just have to really dig deep and figure out what you can do to make it different. If you're just buying a kit off of Alibaba and shipping it, like that is the recipe for failure, because you have no defensibility. Anybody can copy you, and in that type of situation, you're just gonna see your price drop to basically zero profitability. And this happens a lot in a number of niches that blow up really quickly. To contrast the blackhead remover example that we were looking at, I want to show you another product that looks good on the surface, but then when you actually get into it, it might have some issues. So if we just run the viral launch analysis on it real quick. All right, we've got that loaded up. So this is another product that satisfies like a lot of the requirements that we just discussed. Price is good on many of these: 27, 50, 25, 22, 24, 36, 23. Sales are good: 676. You have multiple listings selling over 300 units. Reviews are low: 12, 10, 35, 99, 0, 67, 33. So you might ask, like, okay, this looks like an amazing product. What's the catch? And the catch is, if we click into one of the listings here, these are solder seal wire connectors. Looks like a hot product to make some money. But let's take a look at the historical BSR, as we mentioned. Okay, I've got Keep It pulled up and it's loaded. Let's take a look. Here we can see the BSR dropped quite rapidly in August. So we're like, okay, it's got some really good sales right now. But let's take a look at the whole year or the whole lifetime of this product. And there you go. This gives a clear picture of what's going on with this product in terms of their sales. So if you looked at a snapshot right now, you would think, wow, this is an amazing product. It's selling really well right now. But if you look at the entire sales history of this product, you can tell that sales are not always this consistent. So it's important to go into several products that are on the first page that are appearing to have good sales and look at the sales history for all of them to determine if they all have consistent sales. Because likely, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. It could be a fad or a seasonal product. People are using it for a specific time of the year, which seems to be the case for this product. So it's just important to go and do that extra layer of research to validate whether this is a product that you want to end up sourcing or not. So just to go over our tips again, we want to see good sales velocity with 7 out of 10 sellers selling more than 300 units per month. Good sales history with steady and consistent sales, not too many seasonal fluctuations. We want a high price. Something above $20 is a good starting point. For Amazon FBA sellers. And we want low competition. First of all, in terms of reviews, 5 or more listings with 100 reviews or less. And we want to see a low number of actual listings. If you find a keyword that has high search volume and less than 1,000 listings, that's a pretty good sign. Lastly, you have to have a unique selling proposition. How can you differentiate your product and add value in a way that your competitors aren't? How can you be different? Why should somebody buy your product over the next guy? Guys, that's it for this video about Amazon product validation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't watched the product research video, go back and watch that first. Please like my video, guys. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned for some good content coming up. Thank you.